Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. We're talking spoilers for One Piece.
Don't you think?
Now that you've seen all 8 episodes, this is your place in the comments below to let me know which bits you thought was a letdown that you didn't quite enjoy, or which bits you enjoyed the most and what you are really hoping to see. I'm talking spoilers and ending explained, so let's jump in. Some of the best moments in this series, I think, are the introductions to the characters. Your big smiles on your face when you see Shanks give Luffy the hat and him lose the arm and why he lost his arm. That moment from his hat, transferring the hat then to Nami, when Nami actually asks for help. I think those moments translated really well from the anime to this. When you see the big fish in the CGI moment, I thought the CGI in that particularly looked good. When Shanks used Haki to tell the fish to bugger off, basically, and it did, I thought there were excellent moments. I thought all the moves that Luffy does, they use the less is more. So when he's fighting, he does his fighting flips, he slides, it all looks very, very well done. But when they do the CGI and stretching moments, I think because they've spent so much money on the budget and the stretching and they've used less is more, it has worked out to be really fun and looks great, especially those moments when he did the actual Gatling gun and he's fighting Arlong at the end. Arlong's nose, I know some people will have issues with the nose. Usopp's nose is much smaller and Arlong's is different, except for if you've seen his weapon, you understand what they've done there. I like the swimming of the fish people. I think they looked excellent and their fighting was pretty good. Talking about the fighting, I wasn't sure how it was going to translate with the 3 swords with Zoro, but I thought he did excellently. I haven't seen him do any of his special moves yet, not like that, you know, the whirlwinds, and I'm wondering how that's going to look. Later on, we're going to have some really interesting characters as well join the team, and it's going to be even more CGI heavy, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with some of those characters that join the Straw Hats later. But for now, I think there are moments in each episode that I really enjoyed because of what they put into it. The adaptation for me is what I was looking forward to most. Seeing Mary, how Mary translated, how it looked, all those ships and part of the places where we find our characters going to, those big set pieces that they built, looked amazing. Especially some of those Straw Hat moments when they're just kind of chilling out together on the ship. I think those are some of the best moments. Sanji's kicking martial arts along with his camaraderie between Zoro and himself whenever they're bickering, I think is hilarious and really works well. When Luffy fights Arlong, you feel like you've earned those moments, and I think that's because of the way they've built up the story. Nami's story is very emotional eventually, but you at first feel like she's betrayed the group, and she hadn't really, so you know that you've earned those moments. And so that moment again with the hat where she asked for help, I think was so well done. It was not quite as emotional as you had when you were watching the anime, but close to. I thought they did a fantastic job with that. I think my favorite moment, I think in the whole series, what I was wanting is them to showcase how strong some of these pirates are, how big some of these powers were. And there's a lot of times in the series I was like, I remember just feeling a bigger awe in these moments. Bigger, more badass. And I remember some of the fighting, and maybe that's because I've seen so many episodes so I know what's coming that I don't remember how little was actually shown in the first season. But when Zoro meets his nemesis, the guy that is the best swordsman in the world, how they introduce him is incredible. And that's the first time you really get to see the full extent of some of the powers that these people have. And him slicing that ship in half I thought was phenomenal. It looked really great. And so we worry about Zoro when he's having to fight this guy who he's said basically they're going to have to duel together, and he uses the smallest knife. You think he's going to fight with the big sword, but you know, just to add to his anger, he uses the smallest sword in the world, which is interesting because you kind of knew how strong he was then when he was fighting Zoro, who we thought was pretty strong until he meets this guy. By the end of, well, halfway through episode 8, when they've kind of won their battle and they're on their ship, they're setting sail to go to the Grand Blue, and they're a team. You really feel like you know some of the characters now, that they are part of that group. And because we've had lots of time with some of their backstories, what they've gone through, what they've fought through, not everything was just easy. They had to fight for every single thing. I think that worked well. And they're only as good as some of the enemies they have fought in this series. And I have to say, for me, I was surprised that Buggy was my favorite enemy in this series. He looked phenomenal in his CG. He was creepy but funny clown guy that worked. And I don't like clowns at the best of times, but his character goes, in the anime at least, goes on a massive journey. But for me, he was the best kind of bad guy in this season. I thought he looked good. I thought he was menacing when he needed to be, funny when he needed to be. I like that they kind of brought that character back, and I'm interested to see what they do with his character in the future if they keep going. So those are kind of my favorite moments. Those are my kind of spoiler moments. Let me know where you think this is going to go. Do you think we'll even get a second season? I hope we do. I enjoyed this. I don't know if I'll watch it again anytime soon. I'll wait. I'm probably going to catch up because I'm on, think like near 800 on the episodes of the anime. So I've got 200 episodes to catch up on the actual anime. But I'm looking forward to seeing what people's reactions are to this live action version. I really hope they embrace it so we get more. That ending, if you want to know what's going to happen next, it's the map which Nami was talking about in that line. She couldn't quite figure it out. The spoiler part is that the water, all of that, is going to be connected to the next series. And if you've watched the anime, you know that the water goes up, and that's more than I want to talk about it, because once you see it visually, depending whether you're going to go look at the anime now or if you're going to wait for the second season, then I think you'll be really surprised with what they do with that second season, as well as who that character is in that close, the smoking man with 2 cigars. He's a character obviously from the anime called Smoker. Smoker is the new guy that's going to be sent to capture Luffy, and he has powers of his own, something to do with smoking, as you can imagine. That's what they've set up there. Won't do any more spoilers than that, except that he's a captain for the moment, and his name is Smoker from Logtown. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your favorite moments down below and what you are looking forward to. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.